Hello, welcome back. This is Jeff Byers, and I'm going to show you how to extrude from a face. This method is used in modeling, and we use it all the time, and we're going to be using it, and we're going to be perfecting it. So I kind of want to practice with you today and take you through some of the other features of the extrude and how to do it. Okay, so you can click on your object, click on a primitive. We got our primitives right here in poly modeling. And there's several things you can do now. The component mode, if we hit the W key, that is move the object. I'm going to control Z back to undo. And then if I hit the E, that's rotate. Control Z back. And R, and that's scale. Okay, we're going to control Z back. So we all know how to do that. We know how to move, we know how to rotate, and we know how to scale. What you may not know is that you can use the same WER tools. Okay, W is move, E is rotate, and R is scale. So what you may not know, you can use these tools on the extrude tool. Okay, so there are several ways to do this. You can right click. I'm right clicking over the object. I'm going to go to face mode. Okay, all right. So you can also right click and go to a multi mode. And that allows us to click on vertices, faces, and edges. Okay, that might be a faster way to work for some of you guys as you guys progress. Okay, we can go to multi-selection. Normally, when we start out, I just like to click on the face or the edge or the vertex. Okay, and I'm holding down the right mouse button over the object. Okay, so I click on the face. All right, and we want to extrude that face. Okay, that's pretty easy to do. We can go to Edit Mesh, okay, and we can go to Extrude. Okay, it's under Components. Now, whatever type of component you have on, which is the face mode, it will extrude it. Now, notice that Control plus E. This is what I like to use. Okay, I don't like going in here all the time. It takes time to do that. Okay, so there's a hotkey, Control plus E. Okay, all right. So there's another way to extrude. You can click on this icon here if you'd like. It's all the same thing. And you can also go to your toolbox, okay, and click on an extrude here as well. All right. So either way, we have three ways we can do it. The fastest way for me, I'm just going to close that again. Fastest way for me is to do Control plus E. There we go. Now that comes with this manipulator. Now you can surely use the manipulator, but it can be very confusing because if you click on the box, it will scale. Okay, those little boxes at the end of the arrow. If you click on the arrow, you might click on the box accidentally. Well, what do? Well, the best thing you can do, again, like I said before, we can hit the W key. So hit the W key and just move it up. There we go. And you can hit the R key. So I usually go between the R or W and the R key. So I can scale that if I want to scale it. Okay, I can do Control Z to go back. So I'm just going to practice. I'm going to go Control E, right? Okay, notice that we also have this that comes up, which is kind of cool. So let's talk about that. We can do the same thing. Like if I hover over it, okay, and if I click on it with my left mouse button, I can move it up and down. Or I can type it in here. So I can do 0.5. And it's going to raise that 0.5 units up. Now if I go down with it, notice that it turns black. That's a bad thing. You cannot move a face down into another face with an edge that's exposed. Okay? It turns black. Even if you don't see that, it's not a good idea. So I'm going to go Control Z back. Okay? So if you want to go into, like, push down, you have to give it more thickness. Okay? So I'm going to do a Control E again. And this time, I'm going to click on the offset. I'm going to click on the offset and just kind of move it in. I can go this way, which is bad because it turns black, or I can go this way. Okay. Now, the only reason why that's bad is because if I were to leave it, okay, notice that it's got some problems there. If I go on the other side, it seems to be okay. It's still got problems. The only way I could do that is if I extrude it again, Control E, and then add thickness. There we go. Now this is bad because it turns black. Okay, so let's go up, right, like that, and notice that now that's correct. Okay. Whenever you see something black, whenever you see something turn black like that, that means that the face normals are facing the wrong way. And it's telling you that's not a good idea to do. If I hit the W key, okay, to move it, then I can go down there like that, and you can notice that it is causing a problem. Can't do that, okay? All right, so Control Z back. There we go. Now, if I do want to go down into it again, what I have to do is I have to do Control E, okay? I'm going to hit the R key now, and I'm going to scale that in. Now notice that I have to actually scale it in far enough that I don't hit this face right here. Okay, so I'm going to go to the top view and find out how I'm going to do that. So I'm just hitting the space bar to go to each view panel. Okay, I'm going to do top view. Now if you ever get stuck here and you want all 4 views, all you have to do is go to the left hand side and click on this again, and this will reset all your view panels. Okay. So if I have this selected and I can't get out of this, or I've got 2 side views for some crazy reason, then I can hit this box right here off to the left and click on that. And that will give me all my view panels back. Okay. Now another thing that you want to remember is that anytime I hit the A key, it will frame everything within your box. Hit the A key or the F key. Okay. Now the F key will focus on whatever's selected. Okay. You can see that it gets closer. If I hit the A key, it focuses on just the object in your scene. Now, if you have multiple objects in your scene, it will kind of focus on that. So that's the A key. A is an Alfred, and then F will frame an object. Okay? All right, let's go back to A on that. Let's go to the top view. All right, now I can't really see anything because I can't see through the object. But if I hit the 4 key, then you can see that there's the inner wall. Okay, this guy right here. That's the inner wall here, that little blue line you see. And I have to make it smaller than that for me to be able to push that down. Okay, like a chimney. Okay, so I'm going to do a Control E again. I'm going to hit the W key, and now I'm going to move that down. Now you can move it down without worrying about intersecting that outer wall. Okay, so that's kind of the extrude key. I'll show you a couple other things. All right. So if you ever get stuck on something, and here's something you don't want to do, and I'll take you through this part. Let's go ahead and delete this. I'm going to hit the delete key. I'm going to go into select mode. I'm right-clicking over the object, right mouse clicking, and select. Now, if you use a Mac, you have to set up a 3-button mouse. You cannot run Maya on a Mac computer, an iMac, or a Mac laptop without getting a 3-button mouse and setting up the 3-button mouse. You'll have to go online. I don't have a Mac. I'm using Windows. So you'll have to go online and check YouTube and say, how do I set up a 3-button mouse for Maya, okay, on an iMac or a Mac? So just type that in and search that, and you should be able to get some help. Okay, so I'm going to delete this by selecting it, deleting it. Okay, so what we don't want to do is we don't want to select all the faces, right? Okay, we don't want to select all the faces, and we don't want to extrude this and not do anything. So let's say I extrude, I make a mistake, and I don't do anything with this. And first of all, that's a really bad thing to do, is kind of dismiss it and go, and you can see that, oh my goodness, it turned black. What happened was you didn't move the faces away from the object, okay? When you do that and you select the whole thing and extrude it, it really messes the whole model up. So you have to start over, or you have to go into these faces and just delete them one by one. And that just kind of messes your model up, and it's not good. It's basically inverted itself, okay, and added faces on top of each other, okay? So that's a really bad thing. And some of these faces are impossible to get rid of. So let me go to select. Let's go to select, if I can select it. There we go, and delete it. There we go. All right, so let's go back in here. And normally you never want to select the whole object. You just select one face at a time. Now, if you do select the whole object, then you're going to want to, if I do Control E, notice that this comes up, okay? So what we can do is we can keep faces off. Okay, notice that it didn't turn black. And I can go in here, and I want to use this, and I can do an offset here. Again, I'm holding my mouse over that, my mouse cursor over that, and I'm moving this back, and you can see that keep faces together is separating these faces. They don't act as one. Okay, so you can get that result, which is kind of cool. And then I can do a Control E again, which is a hotkey for extrude. And I can go in here and go to thickness and push that in. Now, obviously, you can't do too much because they intersect each other. See, they're intersecting each other, which is not good. So you want to keep it, just push it in a little bit. Now, you can go ahead and type that in, okay, to something like 0.05, right? There we go. So that's the result for that. Okay. Now, Maya remembers when you select something. Now, if you marquee select something like this, it's going to go right through the object. So be very careful. That's another thing that students forget, is that if you do marquee something like this, it doesn't just marquee select the front box, it marquee selects everything. Okay? So there's a way of getting around that. Let's say if you do just want to marquee select everything and don't want it to go and select anything else. Well, what you can do is you can go into your selection. Let's double click on that. See if we can find out symmetry settings, soft selection, common selection tools, section constraint to highlighted, affected, selection style, marquee, camera-based selection. That's what I'm looking for. Camera-based selection. Okay. All right, let's try that. See if that works. Okay. So now I'm going to marquee select that. Let's do a big marquee select on that. There we go. Like that. And let's go back behind it. It's image based now. So just remember that you selected that. So let's say that I do want to select a bunch of them by marquee selecting and select the back. Then you would have to turn that back off, and you can do double click on that. And common selection options, you can turn that back off if you want to. Okay, but I want that on if I like to do this a lot, okay, by selecting with marquee, or you can just click on it. Okay. All right. Now you kind of know, and you can kind of experiment with extruding. So now you just have to practice extrusion, because it's a crazy tool, and you can get yourself in serious trouble with it if you select too many things. Only select the things you need. Now I'm going to do something a little more difficult. Okay, so I'm going to delete this. I'm going to click on the sphere. All right, so I'm going to do multiple selections. So I'm going to right click over and go to face mode. Okay, I'm going to click on one face and then hold the shift key down and double click on it, and that creates a ring all the way around, which is really fast. So in the food can, you're going to be doing this. You're going to be selecting things like this, and then you can do Control E. And I usually just go into the R key and just scale that out. You can see that creates that extrude, which is pretty cool. So a lot of people, I just find that if I hit the W key, I have a lot more control. Okay, I'm going to go Control Z back. Now, if you make a mistake, let's say you extrude, Control E, and then you mess up and you don't extrude that out, you can't select it again and then extrude it out. It won't work. Okay, you have to go Control Z back. Okay, and try the extrude again. okay, if you mess up. So I'm going to do Control E, and let's go ahead and scale this out like that. And you can say you can keep doing that, Control E, and hit the W key, or excuse me, the R key to scale that out. I'm hitting the middle one. If you hit the, that's uniform scale, that scales everything uniformly. You can hit non-uniform scale, but it, obviously gives you something that looks different. So just keep that in mind. All right, so that's Extrude. I hope that helps. And just practice, 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 and things will get better and better and better. And you'll get really good at this, moving around with the Alt key and just moving things around. Just practice. All right. Have a great week, guys, and good luck with the high poly food cans. And contact me if you need help. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.